Here's some encouraging news on the wildfires. Fires in Montgomery, Waller, and Grimes counties are reportedly 80% contained, according to fire officials on the front lines. Lois will have more coming up in just moments. Right now, joining us, Texas Agriculture Commissioner Todd Staples. Commissioner, welcome to Houston's Morning News. Good to have you back.
Matt, it's good to be back with you.
Let's talk about the farmers and the ranchers all over the state of Texas, but in particular in central Texas, certainly affected by the drought, affected by the heat, and now the wildfires.
Well, I just can't overstate the damage, the actual havoc that's been caused, and the pain and suffering. And it's broad spread. It's all across Texas. Virtually no part of Texas has escaped. And I'll tell you, man, our farmers and ranchers have been slammed because of this drought and combination with wildfires. They've been hit extremely hard. The dollar amount of damage we know is in excess of $5 billion today. That number grows with each passing day with no rain, wildfires, and continued drought.
Now, Commissioner, and this is not going to improve. I've heard you mention this before. You've mentioned it here, that it will take years for it to come back, for the cattle ranchers to increase their cattle, to farmers to increase their harvest the way it was before all this took place. In decades, I think you told me.
Well, Texas farmers and ranchers are proud of our heritage, and all Texans understand that we're number one in the nation in cattle production, and we're number one in cotton. But what we're experiencing, Matt, is that farmers and ranchers are walking away from generations of production, generations of genetics. They're completely driving them out of business. The USDA estimates that the national cattle herd is at the lowest level since the 1950s. Those numbers are going to take years and years to grow back, and we know that producers are just going out of business because of the damage and the devastation that's been caused.
Well, our thoughts and prayers are with everyone affected by the wildfires, the drought, the heat, and certainly with our farmers and ranchers. Texas Agriculture Commissioner Todd Staples, I thank you, sir, for joining us again this morning.
Good to be with you, Matt. I know people are suffering, they're hurting, but Texans are resilient, and the emergency management personnel are working tirelessly. Everyone needs to listen to their local emergency management officials and local leaders for up-to-date information needing to evacuate before damage comes their way.
Amen, sir. Texas Agriculture Commissioner Todd Staples, thanks for joining us here this morning.